So that's how we do this deal with absolutely no money out of our pocket. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're about to break down how we did this deal that we posted last week about the fix and flip, how we did it with $0 out of our pocket. We're going to hop on the whiteboard and break down all the numbers. Before we go ahead and do that, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you didn't watch that video, go back to the channel before you watch this one so that you have an understanding of what's going on. Let's get into it. So for this deal, right, we bought this deal. Purchase price for $205,000. Okay. We plan on rehabbing it, and that rehab is going to cost us probably about $115K. We're thinking the ARV, what we're going to resell this property for, is somewhere around $450. Okay. So those are the numbers on the deal. So what do we have to come up with in order to fund the deal?
320.
We had to come up with this 205 plus this 115. Right? What does that equal?
320.
That equals 320. So our total all in is 320. That's kind of where everybody thinks, right? But also, right, you have things like closing costs and insurance and all these things that come along with buying the house. So if we look at the HUD statement, right, the HUD statement is pretty much everything that comes along with buying the house. There's the closing costs on here, there's realtor fees, there's everything, all the different types of fees. They line it out by line item. Actually, you know what would be cool? If you guys want a copy of this HUD statement, go to joinblueprintrei.com, hop in the Facebook group, and I'm going to put this actual statement in the Facebook group. So go to joinblueprintrei.com, get in the Facebook group, and I'm going to post this HUD statement so that you can actually see all the lines. So as you see on line 303 here, it says to borrower. That's us. I'm the borrower. So literally to close on this deal, I'm going to get $58,000. So $58,000 is going to be sent to my account. This is what I'm going to use for the construction to start it off, because we have an agreement with the lender that we get half of the construction up front and then half in a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if you're with a hard money lender, they're going to want to do a little bit more disbursements than that. This is a private lender who I just have a relationship with, who I've done deals with before, who I just were able to like hash all this stuff out together. Like, hey, what do you need, bro? This is what I need. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Hard money lenders are a little bit different. They're like, hey, here's exactly what I do in my business. You only get this amount of draws or whatever, and they kind of control everything. That's the cool thing about private money, is you can kind of do whatever. So as you can see, literally on line 303, it says that we're going to get that. That's just going to be today, like when we close on it, that will be wired today. And tomorrow, we literally have the demo crew going there. So we're going to be able to use this money right away to pay for the demo crew, right? And then part of this, all the fees and stuff like that, the first construction holdback. So let's think about this. So of this 320, right? 205 gets released right away. And then half of this gets released right away. Half of that is what?
57. Oh, no, sorry.
57.5
Oh, yeah.
plus 205. So this is used to close on the property for the purchase price, and this is used for the rehab. But what we're doing is we're using some of this in order to pay for the closing costs and stuff like that. Remember, we had some fees and like taxes and the closing costs and stuff like that. We're using that. We're using this to pay for that, so we don't have to come out of pocket at all, right? And then we also put a deposit on, so we're going to get some money back in the beginning. So that's how we do this deal with absolutely no money out of our pocket. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
What if your rehab goes over?
Say that again?
If your rehab goes over.
Great question. So if this rehab goes over, because we already planned for that. What happens in the event that we get like 30 days out, and then all of a sudden we realize, hey, this rehab budget of 115 was actually like 125. We would just go out and either ask our private lender that we did the deal with, and we would say, hey, bro, we're like at the finish line here. Do you mind lending another $10,000? He says, okay, cool. You get him to lend you another $10,000, and you guys draft it all up and all that type of stuff. Or you go to another private lender. because I don't just have one private lender, I have multiple. You see what I mean? I would never suggest just having one because you'll end up in an event where you're like strapped and that person doesn't want to do the deal. Now you're sitting there like, crap, I only had one. You're like, you're banking on one person. Who knows if that person is even going to be around in business later on, you know? So you always want to have multiple. So that's that. So we get half of that up front, half of it pays, some of it pays for the fees, and then we get the rest at close. Does that make sense? Love it.
Just the term you have, when do you get the other half of the rehab? Is it halfway through, or is it months?
So we said 2 months
Okay.
is when we would get the second half. So Mike asked, hey, what happens with the other half of the rehab? I know you have this $115,000 here, and you're only getting 57K. Where's the other 57K coming from? We had an agreement in place with the private lender that says, hey, in 2 months, which we think it might even be sooner than that. And here's what I'm going to tell you. We said in 2 months, we can get that 57K, the extra 57K, or 57.5 to be exact for all the people that are like, dude, what are you talking about 57? 57.5, okay? So we'll get a second 57.5 here in 2 months or sooner. So we put it in the paperwork that said, hey, if this is going faster than anticipated, we're able to get that draw sooner than 2 months. So if we fly through this thing and in a month we have, already exhausted the 57.5 and we're already on to like, the second half of the construction, then we can get that released.
Awesome.
Make sense?
For your lender, it's a year.
Mm-hmm.
Your P&L.
Good question too. So all this right here is for 1 year. So we have this 320 for a whole year. We have a whole year to pay him off.
Is this typical 12%? Or it depends how much you're
So like
borrowing?
a hard money lender, right, is probably going to be somewhere between like maybe 10 and 12% interest plus some fees up front.
Mm-hmm.
So they call it interest and points. The interest is the monthly payments that you give them. The points is like the commission to the person that found the deal for that hard money lender. You got to pay that up front. So let's just say we'll call it like, 12 and 2, which means like 2 points, 12%.
The point is just 1% of
Yep.
What they're giving you.
Yep. A point, every single point is just 1% of the total loan, right? So for this deal, if we paid 2 points on 320, what's that?
6,000.
Yeah, that's what we would just be paying that up front.
But yeah, so that it is a good service you're basically providing to them too.
100%. So once you have a deal in your hands, the money, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's easier than finding the deal. But here's the deal. To find somebody that's going to give you $320,000, you're going to want to go talk to that person way before you need the $320,000. You're going to want to talk to them like months ahead of time, build a relationship over time, build the trust, show them that you're doing deals, be one of their homies, you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're cool with lending you the money. But let's just say I just met Mike today and a deal comes across my desk today. Mike's gonna be like, you see what I mean?
You gotta know, you gotta know them because that's a lot of money.
Exactly.
Can't just,
100%.
So what would your recommendation be to someone who can't prove that they're doing a bunch of deals because they haven't yet, but they're trying to get a private investor? Would you say friends, family, or?
Yeah, friends, family, or just utilize somebody that's actually doing deals.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
for a perfect example, the second property that we looked at today.
Yeah.
I did that with another business partner. He's never done a deal before. He's never raised private money before or anything like that. But since he was associated with me and I have deals under my belt and I have credibility under my belt and I have private money lenders, he just utilized my credibility and my ability to go raise private money and stuff in order to do that.
Essentially
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Makes sense.
JV really helps out a lot in the beginning because it allows you to just build credibility. Imagine if you just got on a whole entire fix and flip with somebody. All you had to do was bring the deal and you were an equity partner in it. And the partner that helped you manage the deal and fund the deal and everything went out, managed the contractors, managed the money, got the money from a private lender and stuff, you now have that under your belt. That's your credibility. You finished that project. You see what I mean?